What kind of farmer are you?
I am a very unique farmer. I grow many different varieties of crops. A conventional farmer is typically a farmer that grows lots of corn or wheat or barley, maybe alfalfa, and feed it to animals. But I do that. I grow those. But I also have a roadside store where we grow food for people, and we grow green chili, which is a specialty to our state. Tomatoes, watermelons, cucumbers, cantaloupes, squash, zucchini, so a wide variety of different types of food that we grow for people to eat. And then we also have agritourism on our farm, which is where people come out to the farm to visit. And we grow pumpkins for Halloween for that. So people use them for decorations, and you can also make pies out of pumpkins. So if I was to describe what kind of farmer I am, it would be a very unique one, but also a weird one.
How did pumpkins remove freckles and snake bites long ago?
Pumpkins have never removed freckles or cured you from a snake bite. That's a superstition that came about long ago. Pumpkins are high in vitamin A and vitamin C, so they're good for your eyes, and they're also good for your immune system. But if you ever get bit by a snake, you definitely don't want to rub a pumpkin on it. You probably ought to go to the hospital.
How long does it take for a pumpkin to grow?
Pumpkins range anywhere from 60 days to 120 days. General rule of thumb on how long a pumpkin takes is the size of the pumpkin. So the smaller the pumpkin is, the less time it takes to grow. The larger the pumpkin, the longer it takes.
Our next question is, where do pumpkins come from? Or where did they come from, rather?
Pumpkins, the oldest record of pumpkins, it would be roughly 5,500 to 7,000 BC, the first time in recorded history, or where they found seed from where pumpkins come from Mexico. So they actually wouldn't be called a pumpkin, it would be a calabacita.
What time of year do pumpkins grow?
Pumpkins grow in the fall. We plant them in the summer, but for the most part their growing process is in the fall. And of course they come out roughly around Halloween for a harvest, an autumn harvest.
And how often do you have to water the pumpkin patch?
Here in southern New Mexico, we have to water the pumpkins probably around every 10 days. They have to have a heavy dose of water about every 10 days.
What's the weirdest pumpkin you've ever seen?
The weirdest pumpkin I've ever seen. It'd probably be this one right here. No, not really. One time I saw a pumpkin that looked like my grandpa. Yeah, it was like, a really round face, and it had big cheeks and a bald head and no teeth. Its face was like sucked in. And that was the weirdest pumpkin I've ever seen.
What is the biggest pumpkin ever recorded?
The biggest pumpkin ever recorded was 2,500 pounds, which is roughly the same size as a small car. That's the biggest I've ever heard of.
Why do pumpkins vary in different colors and different sizes?
Pumpkins are very similar to us. So why do you look different than your friend? Why do you have blue eyes or brown hair or blonde hair or dark color, light color? It's in your DNA. It's the way that it was designed. And so pumpkins are the same way. They're short, tall, green, orange, white, So it's in their DNA for what they will be, that they've gotten from their parents.
Okay, and the last question is, how do pumpkins grow?
Pumpkins grow, well, all seeds grow. You have to have three ingredients. You have to have dirt, you have to have water, and you have to have a source of light. And with those three things, any plant or seed will grow. But one thing that's interesting about seeds is a lot of people don't understand why seeds grow up. What tells a seed to grow up? And so inside of the seed's cells, we have what we call phototaxis, and it forms at the bottom of the cells, and it is heavier, and it tells the seed which way gravity is pulling it. And so it's very interesting because it forms at the other side of the cell where it forms the roots. And so the roots go down and the stem grows up. And most scientists don't understand why it actually does this. And so a lot of people would tell you that it's God. God designed a plant to be able to grow towards its light source. And like I said, it's unknown as to why they do that, other than it's been designed by God to grow towards its light source.
Here's a bonus question. What can you make out of a pumpkin?
So the first thing you can make out of a pumpkin is a jack-o'-lantern. That's the first thing you can do with it. But the reason why people grew pumpkins in the first place was for food. You can eat a pumpkin. And most commonly now, people put it in pumpkin pies. And fun fact, the largest pumpkin pie ever made weighed 3,700 pounds and was 20 foot around. So that's what you can make out of pumpkins, is pumpkin pies. When you go to sit down at Thanksgiving dinner, your pumpkin pie will be made from a pumpkin.